Good morning, guys. I know I'm a little bit late. I actually woke up at like 5:30 a.m. I've been up for a very, very long time, just hanging out and stuff like that. But me and my wife like to, every once in a while, we go on some very big spiritual talks. So sorry about that. I know that I'm a little bit late this morning, but we were in the middle of one of our spiritual talks, and it gets very, very intense. Where we just go off, we kind of talk about everything, we see what's going on, we talk about how we're feeling about certain things, and it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun talking about that stuff. We try to piece things together, which I think is very cool to have a partner that overall is we're just actively thinking about those things. So I appreciate you guys showing up this morning. Thank you guys so much. As we get into some technical analysis for the SPY Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and Meta going forward, looking at AMC and GME as well. Looks like we are heading to the upside. I got to update these daily expected moves for you real quick. Looking for some crazy price action. Let's see what we got over here. Let's update for the SPY so we can get you guys those daily expected moves. Let me make sure my mic's working and all that good stuff. Sorry about being late once again. But as we look forward, we need to update this upside move. This upside move is going to be 546.72. Wait, that can't be right. That can't be right. That's the previous one. Yeah, that's the previous one. Okay, where is this? I think I had the wrong number in here. Where was the close yesterday? What did we close at yesterday? I have the wrong closing number here. 550.81. There we go. Okay, and then that should update. And this is actually at 555.61. Boom. All right, there we go. Let's go back down into a 2-hour chart real quick. That thing is curling up and going positive. Looks like we could make that structure to head higher. We'll find out. Looking at the downside range, we have 546.01 for the SPY here. So it looks like we could see that dip down into this area. Maybe we dip down into that area, but we're heading up towards that daily expected move as of right now. Updating for the Qs, we do have 477.27. Let me make sure that is correct. That way we're not having any kind of guess in here because I'm pretty... Okay, this one stayed right. So it looks like my SPY one just didn't update that correctly, but we have these correct levels in here. Here we go. We're heading up to the upside, going up towards a weekly expected move, seeing if we're able to create some structure to head higher. We've talked about this, how we could make something like this to head higher, or this could be all some kind of trap. So we really want to pay attention to that because the dollar, it did head up dramatically, starting to drop off in the morning here today, but it did head up right in this area. So we have to pay attention to that as this tries to bottom out. Now, the key thing here for the day is the MACD going to be able to cross? I would really be paying attention to that because if this crosses down, that means we have a chance to see some kind of squeeze, okay? So volatility, we're seeing if this thing can cross down, hey, we could see some kind of squeeze. So we could go through a time where the dollar and the volatility is actually dropping, which would be very interesting if the dollar actually does make this move down, okay? It would be very interesting because you're breaking through some key levels here. So we'll just pay attention to it going forward. Hopefully you can get those ranges updated for you. Let me know what is going on out there. Let's go look over at Meta as that thing had earnings. And look at that. We're seeing a crazy upside move. Remember for Meta, we actually did consolidate. We never were able to cross over on that MACD. Seeing an upside move as of right now. We'll see what goes on into tomorrow. But for right now, that looks like some positivity. Tesla dropping off. Now, you got to be a little bit cautious of this thing dropping off if that curls down because you do have somewhat of a double top in here. We'll pay attention to it, see if that can go negative, break through this low, go make a new one. We'll find out going forward. One of the ones I wanted to look at today, Mara. We wanted to take a look at this one today, supposedly having some earnings. But for now, we see a 30-minute divergence is possible here. We'll pay attention to this. In order for Mara, we need to look at Bitcoin, see how that is reacting at this point. Seeing a 2-hour very oversold, so we could get some kind of reaction. And look at that. Remember when we said, hey, you know, we're most likely going to test, you know, something between 63.8K all the way down to 63.2K. If you wanted to, you could build yourself a little zone like this. You'd go, okay, maybe I take the top of this level here, but more so, I'd like to get the bottom of these and then the bottom of that there. That looks like a pretty likely area. So this did look like the most likely likely area to bounce. We've talked about this level a lot over the past couple of days, and boom, that's where we head towards. Do we have reversal signals down here? No, we don't. So for now, we would say the most likely probability thing to happen here is we are very negative. If we do cross up, watch out if that is going to be a lower high. And I'm just wearing my robe today because it got a little chilly down here last night. It was raining and I was pumping the AC because it's been hot. It's been hot up in her. But now I'm hot. So we were pumping the AC and then we got a big rainstorm last night. And it's actually pretty nice out this morning. So I enjoyed my morning. I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. for some reason. Couldn't go back to sleep. So I just said, hey, I'm going to get up. I'm going to start looking at some stuff. And I was looking around. It looked pretty interesting going forward. Looks like some things happening geopolitically as well. So if there's anything you would like me to look at, please call that out this morning. Hit the like button. It helps. Good morning. Thank you so much for that, Short Fridays. That's right. A free way to really help support the channel is to hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications on. Nyson, I wanted to talk to you. I looked for that email. I can't find it. Could you resend that email if you did send me one? As I can't find that damn email. I get a ton of emails all the time. IVP, you want to look at that, Peter? Let's go look at IVP real quick. Let's look at this guy. So we're noticing a big upside move. So this is great when you take that swing trading course that's down in the description. That's right, all the courses are still 90% off. They're just going to remain 90% off for a little bit longer, maybe throughout until my birthday. Okay, we're going to have them on sale most likely until the end of August because you guys know, hey, August is my birthday month. So also we're going to have those monthly expected moves out for you later today. I have those ready. I just need to get them onto in a little picture and post those to Patreon. So we will get those updated for you and most likely give you guys a Patreon video talking about those monthly expected moves, talking about some ideas. But for IVP, the reason I brought up the swing trading course is because right here, you actually got a good swing trade signal right in there. If you wanted to take the signal where it was overall, I would say a go, it would actually be down here towards the 624 and boom, look at that swing. So this is that confirmation of momentum here. Notice the 2-hour divergence that led to that crossing down. Now you're just seeing that 2-hour recover. If it needs to, it could curl down, make a stronger base, right? That would be kind of the bearish case. The bullish case, though, you've seen some green for a while. So let's see, the daily has not curled up. Okay, so that's key to understand. So since the daily has not curled up, even though you're seeing those swing trade signals, 2 of them, the RSI and the price action, you're not necessarily seeing that MACD cross up yet. This looks like it is a stock that is really beat down. So I'd just be a little cautious with it. Let's see on the 2-hour, if this can curl down, make that stronger base, then you would have a very good trade setup to see if that is actually going to make some kind of move to the upside on the daily scale. As we look at a 30-minute though, what are we paying attention to here? Yes, it would be a little bit of a chase to get in at this point. Looks like we could use some kind of pullback in order to get us back down near that center line at this point. We could see some kind of pullback down like this and then see that curl up into positive territory, or we could see that break down over time and create a 30-minute divergence and a 2-hour divergence at the same time. That would be a very, very good look. I gotta sneeze. Woo! But hopefully that's overall helpful. And thank you, Nyson, for resending that. I literally was looking through my email. Literally right after the closing stream, I kept looking through my email. I was like, I know they said they messaged me or something. And I'm like, I just can't find it. So just resend it if you could. Thank you, Mark. Mark, what's that oil doing, man? What's that oil doing? Let's figure that out. Okay. There we go. Let's go look at oil for a second because Mark's here. So we're going to look at oil. Look at that 30-minute getting down by the center line. Mainly, we like to look at 2-hour charts here. It looks like a 2-hour pullback would be nice. Now, this makes sense, right? You see where we reacted to. We talked about this. The 4-hour divergence down at these levels. Where would we react to on the 2-hour? Where would we see that pullback? Well, this would make total sense to pull down, maybe touch in that zone, give you that structure to head higher. I think that would be a very cool look. As you can see, those yields are coming even further, oh God, even further down at this point. So something you really want to pay attention to, the daily scale is turning down and down and down. So this is not looking like it is going to be good at any time. This is very good for my TLT investment at this point. Remember, we got back into that on the swing trade, so very cool look there. SPY starting to head up towards that daily expected move. We're going to pay attention to this on the 30-minute. You'll notice not a lot of reversal signals here. Going up into a point of liquidity, maybe we're able to create that structure to head higher. We'll figure that out as it goes. Paying close attention to volatility, as that is still close to crossing up on that center line. So we'll pay attention right now to see if that's able to cross up. Yeah, that stuff is spicing up, but weirdly enough, that info came out after the signals, right? So the 4 hour for actually oil gave you that a little bit in advance, right? So we saw that right here around Tuesday, right? Tuesday night, we actually saw that happen. And then shortly after that, hey, we start to get the news in the media. So this is probably because of that, but notice that the charts kind of show you before you see it all over the news, which is kind of cool. Had calls and sold to get puts, should have stayed long. It's just kind of imagine it, kind of like, what if I just stayed out of it completely? Like I did today. You guys saw me. I sold all of my calls as of yesterday just to be zeroed out today, so I don't have any real risk going into today. And it's making me feel pretty good, right? It's making me feel like, hey, I don't need to sit there and stare at stocks all day or anything like that. I can just watch this 2 hour on the dollar cross up, seeing that there is possibly some insider selling going on this overnight. So we will pay attention to that. Is that anything to really worry about? I would say that this type of move looks like we could experience some kind of pullback. Looking at the PCC, I just want you to notice at the same time, this is where we talk about the rigged moves. Seeing a PCC lower, the dollar is higher while the market is higher. So that is telling me that overall, I believe that this could be some kind of pullback as of right now on like a 30-minute chart for the SPY happening very, very soon as we go up towards that daily expected move. And then we have to see if it creates that swing up, right? We need to see if that swing up is able to happen, or if we're just going to ignore that and break through and see the dollar kind of contradict for a while. So no real signals in here for a trade setup as of right now. AMD more downside for the day, you think? Well, let's go look at AMD. Remember, this thing is like, what, the reason that NVIDIA went higher? And you'll notice that it's funny because NVIDIA up 1.75%, going up into a sell zone. Remember, we can react a little bit higher. But for now, you would just say, funny that AMD is breaking down, telling you as of right now, hey, it's crossing over on that MACD, so be a little bit cautious. This is telling you as of right now that you are still in pullback mode, whether pullback with time or pullback with the price action. But if that red bar down there on the histogram does print for you here in the next 5 minutes, then the most likely thing to happen is we're going to head lower. Now, what we can pay attention to here, because we're seeing NVIDIA with a good move, I see this wick. So I want to see if there's any structure in here that could lead to this 30-minute turning back up. So what I want to do is maybe look at a 5-minute, a 15-minute. I would say probably a 15-minute at this point, and then see if that's able to curl up. That'll give me a hint if this is not going to keep breaking down. So I just want to be aware of that. Does this look like a, say short opportunity? It's not necessarily something that I would do. I understand it if you know what you're doing, if you want to do these type of things, but I don't do little downside swing trades. Swing trading to the downside is a little bit more difficult. That's why we most of the time talk about it to the upside, but especially on a 30-minute chart. But AMD is curling over on that MACD. We'll see if that prints in the next 4 minutes. Here's theory. We head to all-time highs before the rate cut. Then we get a 30% correction to the market at the rate cut. No bear market until 2025, 2026. That could be possible, actually. And that could be possible because, once you do get that rate cut, the recession, the whatever bad thing is going to happen, the deflationary event that happens can take 6 to 18 months. So with that timeline, it would make sense to maybe correct before the rate cut, then we get the rate cut, then we start to go higher. Everyone thinks everything's dandy because of that rate cut, and then 6 to 18 months later, we actually do crash. So I was late too, Dallas, so no hate here, no hate here. Good morning, Mr. Win. Showed a lot of shorting, but the chart did the other. I call manipulation. Most likely something going on there, but it's also just earnings is a 50-50 flip. Like that's overall how I see things most of the time around earnings. I'm just like, if I just blatantly think in my head, this is black or red situation, then it just convinces me like, hey, at least I know my probabilities going into it, right? I know the exact probabilities going into earnings. It's called 50-50. Now, something you can read into is see if the stock has been manipulated higher, see if the stock has been manipulated lower, and then see if that reaction is going to happen because of that. You notice that AMC actually gave out decent stuff in their earnings, and this actually uncrossed at the end of the day, by the way. I wanted to mention that, but for the most part, their earnings were not bad. They've dealt with the debt. They've done a few things like that. They've done some good things overall. They've seen some great weeks and great profitability over the last few weeks with the movies coming back into it. So something like this, though, they really want to go down. So what happens when you get that info? Okay, well, obviously it was good news. Obviously this was good news with the debt restructuring right here. But they want this to go down, so it shoots down. So paying attention to little things like that can help you out with your signals. I do that. That's why I took a call on NVIDIA, by the way. That's one of my reasons. I have a little bit more complicated reasons sometimes, but one of those reasons was they really want NVIDIA to remain high. So why would they break it past a very, very key level? They're probably not going to. So that actually was a very good trade. Now, you need multiple reasons to take the trade. You can't just say, oh, they don't want NVIDIA to break down, so I'm going to take calls this week. That's not how it works. You got to make sure the signals are showing for you. The market maker is in the algorithms there are always kind of manipulating the stock based on what call options, what put options they have in there. But they sell shares, and I don't think that's a bad thing. They're still in debt. It's different from GameStop. GameStop earnings will be interesting, though. They're going to fight over the Bitcoin vote. Well, considering the fact that, you know, she wants to tax more, she wants to do free this, free that, a lot of things that are centralized government things, I highly doubt that she is going to do good things for Bitcoin. I mean, unless it's just the government is actually the ones who created Bitcoin in the first place. Like, what if we don't even know? But, and this is a very conspiratorial thing to say, but what if we don't know? Like, honestly, we don't know who really, we don't know who really created it. You could say, what is it, Satoshi Okamoto, but nobody can find him anywhere. So it's like, what if? I mean, what if we already have a central digital currency and it's Bitcoin and they're just using it? Now, I don't believe that. I think that that's probably a little bit of a farce, but I just thought that that was an interesting point. Maybe someone has some thoughts on it. Weekly move for NVIDIA. We'll see NVIDIA going forward, see if that's able to hit its weekly expected move to the upside. Coin earnings today. We can go check on that real quick. Coin. Now, depending on where this is at, you see we have a double bottom here. It is to see if we are going to see any kind of upside. We'll pay attention to it going forward. Also, what the hell? Man, I am behind. I don't have any of my stuff up. I'm just so behind this morning. Me and my wife were having so much fun talking that I was like, oh crap, now I'm so behind. You do have a double bottom forming down here, so we'll see what happens. You do have the triple divergence. You have the triple divergence on the MACD, on the RSI. It does come up just a little bit higher, but it's relatively close. It's pretty significant, so I think you can overall say, hey, that looks like triple divergence. It's just not like the best looking one in the world. What the frick? Wait, what? Wait, my AMC call is... My AMC call is up 428%. Can I take some profit on that just in case? That's a lot of profit. Okay, someone just bought a ton. I can't sell it for that price. The ask is 70. I'd be crazy to sell that. What the hell? So, if you didn't know, yesterday, when I made that amount, I didn't tell anyone this on the stream, but yesterday when I did make that amount of money, just in case, because this daily scale is getting so tight and we look like we were about to cross the 200, I reapplied my position trade here, just in case we're able to curl up on this daily MACD. I took an option for the day after my birthday, so August 23rd. I took that option, and as of today, it is up. I take a YOLO play. So I took like half of the money from yesterday and that I made from yesterday. So like, I think it was like $400 actually. So a little bit less than half, $400. And I put it into a call option, just a YOLO play to see what happens, because this is pretty tight. Looked like we could cross above the 200, looked like that daily could cross up. And that call option is up almost 500% right now. Now, could I actually sell that to someone? Could I actually like sell that to someone? Probably not. for that amount, but it looks like the ask on it is because it is a YOLO play. I just took the highest call option, and it's 62 cents, and that's kind of crazy though, isn't it? Dude, TLT is popping. Yeah, so now you're getting above that weekly expected move. TLT's popping, crossed up on the daily MACD. I'm glad I'm in this for my investment. This is what I thought would happen overall. Remember, down towards 82.50, that's where I had my first buy, sold up in these areas. Now coming back down into here, I did buy again, sold up in these areas. Now I'm buying in one more time by that center line. I had to manage the trade in this price action here, and then I got back in. So that's looking pretty good for me. Yeah, pretty crazy though, isn't it? Now it's slowly coming down. So if there is still going to be a fight though, this is what you need from AMC, by the way. I think this is actually important to talk about. Maybe we should put some sauce on it real quick. Let's put some sauce on it for a second, get that mayo going. But that's pretty cool, isn't it? So I just did that based on nothing besides, hey, I made some decent money this week. Why don't I give myself a birthday present? So for my birthday, and the Bollinger Bands were getting tighter. So I was like, if it's going to cross the 200 and see something big, it might be like now. So I was like, let me just YOLO into that for fun here. It wasn't a lot of money by any means, but I was just like, hey, let me add to the position by doing an options trade while I am holding the stock. And I was just like, oh, sick. Little birthday present. PCC is lower. Dollar is up. The SPY is up. So we will be paying attention to this, starting to wick out on that dollar for maybe a retest. We'll still pay attention to that. I think the market might roll here. Sorry, at 2 hours, what I want to look for. I want to see if this makes some kind of base. But for the most part, now the dollar is coming back down. Volatility not really able to turn back up on a 2 hour. Those are the signals I really want to see. The Dow is negative. The Dow is negative, creating a lower high. Oh, shit. Are we going to get bad unemployment tomorrow or something? Something bad looks like it could be around the corner here. Are we reading into the upside a little too much? Let's stay a little cautious today, guys. Let's stay a little cautious. This 2 hour is still negative. Not really seeing reversal signals for Nvidia. But we are coming into an area where cup and handle could be the case, but it's not the best look there. You'd really like to more so see this, create that handle around this area to head higher. But instead, we're coming up into these areas, which this might violate that cup. Interesting, but we're not necessarily seeing the dollar keep going up. So HYG did drop off. Smart money dropping off a little bit there. TLT skyrocketing. Oh God, is this a run to safety? I'm trying to figure it out. Can the futures help us? Can the futures help us? Not necessarily. Now, let's not try to be overdone with it. As of right now, we could see some kind of pullback, as this is very, very positive. For the actual market being the SPY and the Qs, let's go over the Qs for a brief moment here. 30-minute pullback is still the most likely option at these levels. Okay, I just want you to be aware of that. As the price action drops off towards the daily expected move, we're seeing that dollar drop off as well. So dollar dropping while the SPY is actually dropping, but is that money flowing into the TLT at this point? Because TLT is seeing some pretty good upside. So it's a confusing one a little bit today. Oh, okay. This might just be a handle. This might just be a handle that comes down into this area. Remember, we talked about retesting this liquidity in here for the Qs as we break out. And where would that lead us towards? Well, we could go down towards that daily expected move maybe. So if this curls down, let's look for if that's going to curl back up. But as of right now, some weird behavior from the dollar. Crazy breakdown with the yields. I want to look at this in some macro perspective here. Let's look at a monthly. Monthly is just turning down and down and down. Dang. That is wild. Give me a moment, guys. This is like this is so much fun though, honestly. Yeah, we're breaking through the channel and everything. We started to make this little channel, made the divergence on the monthly scale telling us, hey, okay, now we get that lower high, really confirming, hey, this might break down quickly. Something really bad could be happening, actually, if these yields are going to break down dramatically. Monthly has turned up for the VIX, so wow. And then at the same time, we're seeing AMC gain some ground. Now, that's not necessarily anything to really pay attention to till that daily fully crosses up. This is a weird one today, isn't it? It's a weird one. Oh, AMC's back down. I'm still up on the position, but not as much. I gotta turn on some tunes for this, not toots. I got not turn on the for this. I'm trying to get 2 of my buddies to sign up with me on your online course. How much is it currently? It's currently for the swing trading going to be $50. For the how to trade in any market, like what I see, what I more so use. Swing trading is just very, very simple. You can take both right now for 150 bucks. You could probably finish it in a couple of days. You can refer back to it on the weekends. I highly encourage you look at it a couple times. But for the most part, $100 for how to trade in any market, that's going to help you out when volatility is higher. Okay, when volatility is higher, that's more the course you want to get. It's $100. It's 90% off as of right now. So as volatility is a little bit higher, that's something to pay attention to. If that crosses down, though, you're going to want to look for that swing trading, which could be the SPY already giving that signal. If that can confirm up here, that will be overall saying, hey, we're going to make that next move higher. Unless something bad happens, we'll see. Maybe this just rejects here as the Dow is setting up a lower high, right? So that is something to pay attention to. If this rolls over again, that might be a lower high, and we might at least move down in some kind of ABC move, maybe down to test that 50. But if you want to take the swing trading to start out, if you're someone who's fresh in the market, swing trading is very, very simple. I just do it very briefly. I just tell you pretty much how to swing trade, talk about the MACD and RSI real quick. So it's 50 bucks. It is 90% off as well. But if you really want the skills to move forward, I highly, highly encourage the $100 course. I highly encourage the how to trade in any market. The technical analysis course is very, very cool. Oh, God dang it, Sloth. Can I do that now? Let me see if I can do it now. Let me see if I can do it on the YouTube side of things, because I use Streamlabs to stream it. Let me see if I can go do that for you, because I know you've asked before, and I feel bad because I always forget things. Okay, let me see. Let me go live here. Can I, like, edit? Okay. Videos processing, please do it later. I will try to turn those subtitles on next time for sure. I'm gonna write a note right now. God dang it. I'm so sorry about that, Zen. I know that some people are watching while at work and things like that. They can't listen in. So, very, very sorry about that. Sloth, I appreciate you being here. I will try to get that updated for the next video. I will make sure to tell the person who always keeps me in check, aka my wife, I will tell her to tell me to put subtitles on. No more Japanese mayo for you because I forgot to put subtitles on. Again, okay, volatility is starting to turn positive here. So what we need to see is that 30-minute, is that going to turn up and go positive? As of right now, we're seeing some, God dang it, I should probably take a, I should probably take some kind of hedge in case something really bad happens. And hedge, meaning not hedge as in I have calls, by the way, hedge as in I'm more going to use a position that's not that big again, just to make sure, but just to make sure nothing terrible is happening as volatility does turn up. We still get some more news going into tomorrow, but is this. All right, that's going to be my just in case play. In case we see some crazy price action to the downside, because that is kind of scary, isn't it? But the dollar is starting, we'll see what happens. The Dow has really got me worried up here. The cool part about the Dow, let's look at this from a 2-hour perspective. If that rolls over and goes negative here, that's not going to be a good sign for the Dow. Let me look for another stock that might be rolling to the downside. Let's look at 30 minutes. Yeah, so 2 hours. So this would be great, actually. This would be a crazy fake out, but if Tesla came down into our zone and then curled up, you actually would have 2-hour divergence down there. Wow, interesting behavior from the market. AMD really giving it up. Spying the Qs on the daily scale for you right now. You're looking for if that's actually going to cross up. Right now we're seeing some weird behavior. I would say the Dow, we might want to read into that a little bit. You're seeing volatility pop up. You're seeing the dollar green while the SPY is green. Just a little bit of a hint that there was overall more insider selling than buying going on last night. Now, it wasn't the craziest move in the world. This is not the craziest move in the world, but I'm saying if we don't go make a divergence here with some kind of upward move and this just starts to break down, that would be almost like a hyperinflation move if that affects the market. If this is cash flowing into the market there and this breaks through here, that would be very, very interesting. It might not want to turn around. We might just see the dollar turn back up here. Watch for if the dollar starts to close above the 9 and the 200 today. It's really close to the 200. So if this can solidify some kind of higher low on the 4-hour curling up, that would be an interesting move, wouldn't it? And that would say, hey, we are seeing some bad stuff in the future, maybe because we can see that disparity for a little bit of time. Boeing, on the daily scale here, trying to curl down yet again. If we look at this from the weekly scale, by the way, this might just be a weekly swing trade for the downside. We'll see. But the weekly trying to turn up here, it's starting to cross through these moving averages again. If we end the week below this, then you're starting to look like, hey, we might cross and go make a divergence or something like that. Let's zoom out to a monthly for Boeing. Let's look at this from a big perspective. Trying to curl up and go back to positive. We'll see if that's still able to happen. So if that happens, okay, Boeing has a chance to see upside for a few months. But if, as of right now, it's turning down in negative territory, so you lose that 200, it might be over for Boeing at this moment. Kind of seeing some interesting flagging going on here. Holy crap, this is an interesting market today. It's going to be a little bit difficult to figure out. I think I like that wick. No, it's more of a triangle. I can't convince myself anymore that that is some kind of flagging. It's more of a continuation triangle. This could take a long time to play out. All right, let's go back over to the Qs for a second. Yo, what? Okay, if this is going to behave like a bear market, if we're going to keep heading down and this is going to behave like a bear market, then we're most likely to see a move down. Then we get that reaction up. Then we actually fall down with that 2-hour being able to curl back over. That's how a bear market would behave. If we're going to see some kind of crash, well, then we're just going to see volatility keep popping here, and we're going to see the dollar start to climb back up, which the dollar is climbing a little bit here. Even with that crossover on a 30-minute, I like to pay attention to a 2-hour for the dollar. That thing is curled up saying bounce. If that can go positive and we can remain above this area, that would be interesting. Yo, good morning, Jackson. How you doing? Interest rate on Treasury dropped significantly overnight. Yes, they are dropping. So on the monthly scale, you're still saying pullback, but this is starting to break through some key levels. If you zoom out to a daily, you can see that channel that we were overall in. And for the most part, you're breaking through that channel, right? So this is kind of an interesting look going forward, seeing if that's able to cross down into negative territory. Did I clone this or did I? Yeah, I did clone it. So that is a pretty perfect channel there. That is breaking down. We'll see what the unemployment numbers tomorrow. But if unemployment has ticked up again, then hey, remember that SOM rule. Does everyone remember when the SOM rule was asked about yesterday? You guys want to know why I pay attention to the unemployment rate? Well, one of the parts of that is the SOM rule. I haven't talked about it much, but the SOM rule pretty much that is a leading indication of some kind of weakness in the economy, overall weakness for some kind of recession. And so that is something to pay attention to. If you want to, just look up the SOM rule real quick. It's a very easy explanation where it's when you move up from the lowest point in the last 12 months in unemployment by 0.5 or higher, then that is a leading indication that there will be a recession coming and bad things are right around the corner. So we have gotten that signal. We're at 4.1. The lowest point was 3.55, I think. So we do have that indication right now. Dollar keeps wicking up in this area, not crossing over on that MACD anymore. Daily hasn't crossed down. That daily crosses down for volatility, then we can see that overall more of a squeeze. But as the PCC is lower, interesting to see that the PCC lower today. Sorry, I'm having to move around because my freaking cord is in the way today. Many other stocks red as the Mag 7 starts to rip up. I'm looking across. I'm just seeing these signals across the way about to curl up on a daily. But if that does not confirm, then that might be a chance to, hey, say, okay, here's what we need to do, guys. Here's what we need to do. We're going to talk about managing the trade this morning, because if we want to break down, this is a point of resistance. If we want to curl up over time, that's awesome, right? Watch for that daily to curl up. But at this moment, just talk about managing the trade, because we're seeing some interesting behavior. If this 2 hour was to curl down, then that is when we want to say, okay, the most likely option for Amazon and other stocks, I'm just using Amazon, but if we're looking for that daily to swing up, and say we took that early, well, if that 2 hour were to cross down, if this were to cross down, that would say, hey, I need to manage my trade. We'll look at it, we'll see. But we still could rally. I'm not saying we can't, Mr. Dragon. I'm just overall looking into the fact that if the dollar were to break down here, that would be really, really bad. Now, if we still can, I'm just looking for if we make that divergence or if we just reject right now. That's true. It could be, well, end of the month, it's the beginning of the month. But yes, it could be consolidating for that move higher. How that would overall move higher, we're just going to use the SPY to talk about that. I think you could experience a 30-minute pullback down towards that daily expected move, and then we'll see if we can catch some ground there. Maybe we can get some hints from the dollar. If this is dropping and the dollar starts to drop at the same time, that would be interesting. But right now you're seeing the dollar was higher while the market was higher. That is a sign of some insider selling. It didn't look too dramatic, but now we're seeing that come down and the dollar is starting to gain back some ground. So we'll look for if the dollar is dropping pretty significantly as we get to that daily expected move, if we're going to get there, right? If we're going to curl over, curl back up. Lucas, you're scaring us. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare you. I promise. Don't make any moves based on my. I'm more just excited. I love markets like this that are, you know, moving more. I like markets that are moving more in both directions. I think that that's the most fun market, and that's the one that I make good money in that type of market too. So I really like this look. Volatility is starting to pop off. So I did, just in case, I bought some of the UVXY. Just in case. It's very hard to predict right now, but all I want to read into is the SPY is still green, the dollar is green. That is telling me that for the most part, even at this moment, there was some insider selling. And the PCC is at 0.81, which is pretty low. It was at 0.76, I think, this morning. Small caps are dead. Let's go look at IWM real quick. IWM giving the fake out move, now curling down. Most likely option for IWM is to head down here. AMC, let's go look at that, as that was looking like, hey, this thing wanted to curl up into positive territory. I will be very interested to see if an overall crash for a certain reason happens, like say a bank failure, unemployment, those things start to tick up. Okay, we can pay attention to that. How will that affect the memers out there? As of right now, you do have triple divergence on the MACD and on the RSI. If you take this point down here, you can kind of see, if we zoom in on this, down, 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 and down in the nearest price action. So even right here, you do have that. Nvidia is going down quickly. Remember that this could just be a pullback back into liquidity. So we will be paying attention to if this is able to build back, if this is able to curl back up, because we are positive, guys. So I don't want to scare you saying downside could be the potential. It's just, this is a moment where you need to have that energy behind you and be like, I'm ready. I'm just be more so, I'm using the energy that I'm getting from what's happening in the market to say, okay, I need to pay attention to what's happening. If this dollar rejects here, if volatility starts to turn up and rejects here on the daily scale, that's not going to be a good thing. Our squeeze signal is this dropping down, right? Crossing over, getting below the 200, going down to 1212. That is your short squeeze signal. But if this can reject and keep going up, you might see that get above 20, and that would be a very, very big signal to pay attention to right away. The reason that that's caused all that energy is going to be the Dow. The Dow is causing me to go, oh golly, well, this 2 hour could roll over. How bad could that get? I'll look if that is able to turn back up at some point, but right now, that's not a good look. Maybe the Fed should have cut yesterday. Well, if they would have cut yesterday, we could have seen the market probably squeeze higher for even like someone mentioned into 2025. But I believe if we're going to see some kind of downturn now, I actually like that thought of like a 30% or like a 20% correction that leads into an overall bullish market after the rates are actually cut. I think that would be very interesting. What we might want to look at is this causing any kind of an inversion? And they're pretty close. They're pretty close to uninverting there. VIX is moving a little bit quick to the upside, 3% up as of now. So what we want to see is this 2 hour going to confirm that move up? Really just saying, hey, this does have another move higher after the consolidative move. 30 minutes probably going positive almost. Yeah, 30 minutes going positive almost. So we're still running into 1683 area. That area we do see some reactions from there. So we'll pay attention to that. Dollar is going higher again. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Remember, we look at this on 4 hours and 2 hours. If that 4 hour turns up, we might see something a little bit ugly, guys. This can be a higher low. We can start to head to the upside. We are overall in a channel. So if the dollar does want to see a bigger move to the upside, don't think that that has to burst through. Right now, we're still a little bit far away from that center line. We could see a big move, maybe consolidate and head higher, or we could see that big move and then maybe turn back down over time and see that squeeze. So we'll pay attention to these things. As of right now, seeing the dollar move a little bit higher, volatility up 2.38% as of now, while the SPY is flattening out. We are aware, and that's why I'm not saying take big plays and things like that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you how this morning, we're seeing some crazy price action. It is the retail hour. We'll see how it ends by the end of the day. And we most likely will. I'm going to try to go live later this afternoon. I'm going to try my best to go live later this afternoon. I do have to take care of, my parents went out of town. They're on some vacation trip. Shit, they're on a vacation. Where'd they go? I might have to text them. Because here's the thing. The reason I want to text my family is just to make sure everything's okay. I can't remember. I don't think they're going on a plane or anything like that, but the market can tell you when key things are happening. And a lot of the time I like to bring this up somewhere around the COVID times. The market overall does give hints of when bad things are happening. Okay, so we'll see how this weekly dropped off here, but we saw a signal in this area that told us that weekly was going to drop off, and that was a daily signal. Okay, we saw a daily signal in here that was a daily divergence that led to a dramatic drop, right? So this daily divergence led to that dramatic drop. Now, we're not seeing that right now, but it doesn't mean it has to perform the same. We could see a rejection and see this as a lower high. I know we've seen some things geopolitically, so I just want to be aware of everything that's going on. Usually when you're seeing some crazy stuff in the market, like when we called that the fact that we had a high probability up here, we talked about the fact that there was a high probability for an assassination attempt before the election, and then we see this signal, and then that event actually happened right here. Okay, so you saw these signals, it happened right there. So I'm just being aware of it. The stock market can give you hints of what's going on around the world. Flying can be a worry, so after the stream today, I'll make sure to give them a call. Because my friends actually went on a vacation during the time where that outage happened for CrowdStrike. I think it was CrowdStrike, right? I think there was an outage that caused like a lot of, and they had paper plane tickets and stuff like that. They said they were stuck for like 6 hours. And then like 80% of the flights were canceled. Theirs happened not to be, but they ended up having a great trip. How do I feel coin will do with earnings? A lot of the time, I just like to look at Bitcoin. For anything related to Bitcoin, I always like to look at Bitcoin. Now, it is earnings. It can be a little bit different. Bitcoin is going down into a point where I thought we would see a bounce. This is exactly where we talked about it going towards. If we were going to top out, we could head down towards this to create that left head, right shoulder. But that kind of gives us a hint too. If Bitcoin is going to see some kind of move to make that right shoulder, maybe the positivity is not done yet, and we're actually setting up, as someone said, some kind of rally. So really just looking at what's going on throughout the day, we're going to pay attention to this very closely, see if that dollar is able to turn back up or turn up on a 4-hour chart. That will really give us a good hint today. So we'll pay attention to this over the next 24 hours. If this is going to curl down, we can go make that daily divergence down here. If it breaks down, shoot, we might be seeing some kind of squeeze. Okay, we're running into a little bit of trouble towards our 1683 level for volatility. So we'll see if that's able to break down, as that was just trying to go positive. We're now seeing people get a little bit overzealous, right? We're seeing people start to switch to that put side. TLT, man. Yeah, so we already planned. So pretty much towards Thursday and Friday of every single week, we like to go out. We get waters. We make sure the car is loaded up with water. And because my buddy, he's actually a detective. He used to work with like abuse cases for the elderly and children and things like that. So he tries to stay aware of a lot of things. And he mentioned to me he's a little bit worried about maybe even something really crazy happening since they failed the assassination attempt, and they are going to possibly induct a martial law. And so he said, just be prepared in case that were to happen. So I stay prepared for that. Sorry, I got a smoothie delivery. IWM's not looking good, man. A downside target for AMD, yeah, we can see if we can pull one of those up for you, because I don't believe we are down towards a weekly expected move. But for IWM, looking at this 2-hour, what do we have? Another point of divergence. It looks like small caps are about to see some ugliness, which is interesting because the yields are coming down. Technically, that should be good for the IWM for small caps. As far as it goes for AMD, by the way, a downward price target. Let's see where that's at. But yeah, 2-hour, you have another point of divergence here saying there could be extreme weakness here. So I'd really see if that daily is able to cross down now. Looks like daily pullback is what we would overall say right now. 214 is a level to pay attention to for this week going into Friday. As far as AMD goes, where is that? Gosh dang it. There it is. Okay, AMD on this one here, we could head all the way down. I know this is crazy, but you could head all the way down to like 124. So bottom of this channel here. Ooh, what is this drawing? I don't like that. Let's see what's going on here. Let's try to draw some stuff up. Let's just draw some lines. Thank God I'm going to buy ammo today. Just to be prepared. So as AMD does head down, we want to see if it keeps this structure. We want to see if we have any kind of 2-hour divergence that forms down here. Remember, it wasn't the best divergence down here for this overall pop. We kind of had one flatness on the MACD, but you're still far away from that center line. So if you wanted to, you could curl over, maybe create another point. Maybe this is just going to be a flash move down for that overall pullback. All right, really paying attention to the 30-minute here. Just drawing some ideas out, just drawing some ideas. 30-minute is starting to cross. The dollar, really would like to see that start to rip higher if we're going to see that move. VIX starting to break through that 1683, so that resistance not holding at this moment. We'll see what happens over the next bit of time here. Dow really starting to break down further. Uh-oh. We got to watch that daily expected move. We have to keep in mind it is retail hour. If we wanted to head up, it makes total sense to go grab some liquidity, drop down into this area, really fake people out, push people to the put side, and then turn that thing up over time, and then see some kind of structure like this heading into next week. Left, big head, right shoulder. This could just be the ABC move. See a divergence here, right? Maybe we get this to curl down, see that divergence up at this level. We see a more meaningful pullback down like this, because really this is just this type of move here. We could see something similar to that there. We'll see if that curls back up, but for now, we'll pay attention to this going on right here. Looks like I could see a crash for my birthday, maybe. That'd be sick. No, I do not want anything bad to happen truly around the world. I really root for positivity, and I root for peace, for real. Trust me, I do not want to have to use any of the things that I've bought over the summer. But 2 hours starting to curl up. I gotta take my phone for a second just to keep my buddy aware. Yeah, Marina didn't like that euphoria. I do remember you talking about that a bit. I gotta text my buddy. Hold on one second. Okay, I gotta pull up some possible news, just in case. Because if that volatility rejects on the daily scale, that's going to be kind of a big deal. We'll look for reversal signals throughout the day and throughout tomorrow. We still get more data and all that good stuff. What are the Qs doing here? So the Qs going down into here would make sense. The SPY going down into here would make sense. So press that like button, y'all. Trying to buy more for the dividend. Hey, I respect that. AMC, so close. It's so close. AMC, I'd really pay attention to this, guys. Look at that daily. You are getting this to close above the 200. If you close above the 200, I want you to really look back at all these big pops. We've never during this, no. During these, no. During this right here, no. During this right here, no. So pay attention for when it does, right? If it keeps wicking out, then we should expect more negativity, right? Because we don't want to be insane. We don't want to say, oh, this is going to reject and magically go up. But if this would do something different, that's when we want to pay attention. Crypto was hinting the way down yesterday too. Not a direct correlation with the market, but Bitcoin 80% similar. Yes, so Bitcoin, it can take up to 2 weeks for you to catch up to what Bitcoin is doing. So that's why it's hard to read into, but sometimes there are times where you follow it very quickly. So paying attention to Bitcoin, say on a daily chart, we're seeing that start to curl over. Okay, we're seeing that curl over. So we did see that move back up, but in the grand scheme of things, you would say lower high still happening here. We'll still pay attention. There are some signals that could pop up here. We'll see if this can turn back around. We don't necessarily want to bank on anything horrible happening, but the SPY is dropping. What's the dollar doing? Remaining a little bit the same. Okay, remaining the same. You really want to see this start to react and close above that 200. Volatility reacting as of right now, starting to get some rejection. We'll see what happens. This could just be a move down to grab liquidity. Don't want to read into it too much, but people are starting to go more towards the call side. So if they want to trick people a little bit, if this is going to behave like a bear market, hey, that downward daily expected move looks pretty likely for an area to grab that liquidity. Yeah, I heard that Iran, the Israel-Iran stuff starting to turn up as well. So oil's telling us that right before the news came out. Oil was a good indication of that. Whenever you're looking at oil, you see big pops, especially when there's geopolitical things going on. That's what you can look for. Hey, we got to do it sometimes, short Fridays. It's good to be risk managed as you're seeing the SPY turn down. Now, if that turns back up, we have a reason for upside still. BlackBerry, I have not looked at this. Is it BB? Okay. Is this one it? Curling down on the 30-minute, not a good sign. Let's look at this just from a daily scale. Consolidative move at this point. Still consolidating. Look for if that is actually going to reject, start to turn up above these moving averages, but not the best look, because if you curl down, you can really see downside here for BlackBerry. So pay attention if this curls down on that MACD, because that means that the most likely option for the daily scale is to head down. You're in negative territory. Hey Riley, thank you so much for subscribing today. I'm sorry that I freaked you guys out for a second. I didn't mean to. It's just I need to react to these things. I have family to think about. I have people that I'm connected with who kind of depend on me to watch some of this stuff for them as they have regular jobs and things like that. So I can sit in front of a computer all day. Not as many people are blessed to do that, right? So I just want to stay aware that this is a big signal to pay attention to if volatility can turn up on this 2-hour chart. IWM just tanking there, man. GME, let's go look at that. I know we're distracted a lot by AMC. GME is something that I'm paying attention to, actually on the 30-minute time frame here, because we could set up a divergence at this point. So if we set up divergence, that means the 2 hours got a good chance to see a good move, and this has some huge implied volatility in it. So a lot of the time when you see those 30-minute divergences, just like, or more so a 2-hour divergence, but when you see a 30-minute divergence, you can get a good pop out of that. So that's something to look for. As you can see down here, there's an example of a 30-minute divergence that was on the MACD. Not necessarily the best look for the RSI. It gave you a solid pop, right? You're looking at 3 points from this, over 10% in a small amount of time. So you're seeing that signal as of right now. Just note that the 2-hour is very oversold. So if we're going to see this behave naturally, if we're not just going to see a rapid move up, hey, then that 30-minute divergence down here by that weekly expected move, by the way, weekly expected move by that area of $22, that could turn up the 2-hour. See if that has resistance in it, turns back down. A 2-hour divergence is what you really want to pay attention to. That's what we were mentioning here before we saw the big move. So that's what I would really, really look for as far as a big move from GME. But if that 30-minute pops up, you can still see a pretty solid move. Small caps should be running. If those yields are really still even dropping off, they're dropping off 1.66%. Yeah, they really should be. We're getting really close to uninverting though. Uninversion, whenever you see that head towards uninversion, stocks go down. Whenever you see it get more inverted, stocks go up. So they want you to believe the yields going up is a terrible thing, which it can be in a certain environment, but overall you'll end up higher as those yields go higher. That's why we say to pay attention to things like unemployment, bank failures, things like that. That will be much better to pay attention to. Let's go look at gold for Mark real quick. Let's see what gold's doing. Just looking at GLD right now. Ooh, running into a wall for a second. Now, is this going to cross down? That's the thing with gold. So is the 30 minutes showing me reversal signals? No, but it is telling me, hey, I'm pretty overbought. I could pull back to then head higher. Let's look at this from a macro scale though. If that weekly can turn up, gold might see a crazy move. The monthly's probably still turned up, pointing directly up at this point, still making that form of divergence there. We'll see what happens with this going forward. As of right now, you're kind of running into our wall, our trend line. Market going down and AMC going up. Well, remember, that's what we've said for, ever since Roaring Kitty came back. We just quickly explained, hey, if the market goes down, if all stocks start to go down and AMC goes up, you're seeing the problem show its face. I think unemployment's going to be really freaking important tomorrow. Like I said, that's the actual data I pay attention to. They always want you to pay attention to, are they hiking rates? Are they cutting rates? Are they staying the same? What is their decision? What is the CPI? What really matters is unemployment and banks. That's why TLT is up, yeah. So Q's not curled over yet. The SPY is curling over as of right now. So SPY, look for that daily expected move downside if we're able to confirm that. Q's as well, if they can confirm that, that would be an interesting point to pay attention. See if we're able to form some kind of little thing here to go higher, or if we're going to give this up and just see volatility go nuts. Kind of going nuts right now, isn't it? Check the dollar, probably. It's marked, so whenever you put check the, I'm like, it's either dollar or it's going to be, yeah, just tell me the ticker you want me to look at, Mark, for that, for the gold, if you want me to look at a certain one. But for the dollar, we're also, oh gosh, we're seeing the dollar higher. The market's now negative, so this makes sense. It's correlated again, but the PCC, we're seeing people take those calls, so a little bit worried about that. As we're seeing more downward pressure, people just kind of YOLOing calls, it seems like. Not the smartest thing to do, retail. What are you guys doing this morning? And by you guys, I mean us. What am I doing this morning? Well, I'm not buying calls. I'm doing the opposite. See if just something simple like this would be fine, and then the worries back out of my brain, but housing sector. Oof, that's a big divergence for the housing sector. Housing market could see something bad happen here as well for the housing sector. Home builders can really suffer from that. Initially, initially you see weakness in home builders, by the way, before you see it actually hit like the housing market itself. A lot of the time, housing sector will hint you into home builders first. Market going up, and I think it could go up over time. We just need to see if this 30-minute can gain some ground down towards this daily expected move. We could even flash all the way down and fill that gap and then turn back around. We'll see. NVIDIA and Apple. Let's go look at those for you, Daniel. We haven't looked at Apple today, so let's go look at Apple. This one curling down, telling you overall pullback, right? So if we wanted to get to this level, it just means maybe we ran out of steam. See if that can curl down into this area, maybe even fill that gap and then turn back up. See if that, we're seeing a lot of this, a lot of 30-minute turn down, 30-minute turn up. We'll see. And a lot of the time, Apple saves the market, by the way. So just be careful. Apple can have a big dictation of which way the market's actually going to go. The last time we saw that, by the way, was the last earnings that really caused the market to go higher, just from specifically Apple. One, here. Two, here. This signal was massive. When this happened, boom, the whole stock market started to go up. This truly saved the market right here with the triple divergence. Good thing we caught that move back in October. Apple's the reason we called the bottom in October of 2023. It can impact markets. You're seeing it impact certain markets right now, right? You're seeing it impact oil. So we're paying attention to this. As of right now, oil's starting to turn down though. So that's something to look forward to. Remember, we're heading into an area where a pull down makes total sense, right? A 2-hour pullback makes total sense to make the structure to head higher. Don't be tricked. You are in a positive trend. You can curl down to that center line, curl right back up, curl down to these levels, curl back up. That would give you some structure to head higher. Let's look for that higher low. If you're going to head lower, well, we can watch out for divergence and things like that, but making a divergence with that high of a MACD, a little bit less likely. Yes, earnings are important. Ethereum taking a crap too. Gold's starting to roll here just a little bit towards the highs. Look at that 30-minute, just starting to kind of show that little bit of weakness. Netflix showing that positivity though. Netflix, a lot of signals down here. I think it was a 2-hour divergence, triple divergence for the 2-hour. But it's not liking what's going on in the market today. See if that daily can actually turn up for the daily swing trade. I know we're bouncing a lot. We're bouncing around a lot, guys. It's just we want to stay aware this morning of what's going on. AMD heading down. It can head down towards like 124. Is this going to be a 30-minute curl up as well? It's still positive. NVIDIA. Oh, sorry. What was the other one someone asked about? Was it NVIDIA? NVIDIA and Apple, Daniel. So for NVIDIA, we're still looking if that is going to drop down and then curl back up, right? We're very positive on a lot of these charts. So really all you have to do is see, hey, if we're going to see another extension of that move, 30-minute curl up's really going to tell you that. And then you might start to turn up the daily scale. AMD, it's going down, down. The last time I sang, I got, not a strike, but I got demonetized 2 days ago because I sang during my stream. $3-4 swings for some puts there. PCC still low. People still believe in the market goes higher, and that's perfectly fine. But we're seeing a 2-hour cross up now, guys. We got 22 minutes left in the bar, but this is a signal to pay attention to. This is where this doesn't matter anymore. You can start to see another big move like we did right here. This is where you can really see that swing higher, because if you kind of reject the fact that you were going to go into a negative trend, we can see that go higher. Bull crossing down on the 2-hour. Okay, there you go. No, that's not it. That is not it. Are you looking at futures? Yeah, you're looking at futures, maybe? Because it's you. You got to be looking at gold, Mark. Rolling down. 30-minute divergence here for this guy. This might not be the one you're looking at, but that is a steep little double top divergence there. See if that's a cup and handle, but for now, that is really close to going negative. I don't even know if that's what you're really looking at, but dollar's starting to go higher as well. Volatility now up 6%. UVXY up now, almost 9%. Nice. UVXY. Nice. Good little trade setup there. That's F to make up some satire songs. You can't be demonetized for satire. Yeah, that's very true. If anyone's a musician out there, you want to make me some tunes, I'm down. I like some heavier rock music. If you want some indication of what I listen to, I'm going to an I Prevail concert in a week if the world doesn't end. Really excited for that. I got to see Hollywood Undead and I Prevail. I'm pumped. That's okay, like Marina, the thing is, you're someone who really is reacting. I'm cool with reacting, you know what I mean? Loxley, what's up? What happened? Gasoline, yeah. I Prevail. I get to see Hollywood Undead, I Prevail, and 2 other bands that I've tried to listen to their song because they put out the set list. I don't like it. I Prevail is one of my favorite bands, by far. I think they're so good. And my wife saw them and she didn't know who they were, and she was like, these guys are pretty good. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't know who they were? You gotta know who they are. Because I just learned about them like a year ago, and I've been obsessively, I literally, don't tell anyone, I illegally downloaded a lot of their songs on to my Beat Saber, and I just sit there. I have Gasoline on Beat Saber. Gasoline on Beat Saber goes. It's very freaking hard because it only has an expert level. I'm about to be 32. Mr. X. We'll just call you X. Yeah, I'm almost 32. I'll be 32 in like less than a month. Oh yeah, Bring Me the Horizon. I've listened to them for a little bit. They're not my favorite, but you look 26. I'm Russian. We pirate everything. Yeah, Bearshare, LimeWire. Yeah, I grew up in those times. McFlashland will be booming by the end of the year. Definitely still possible. I'm a young little chicken. We call my daughter a little chicken. My daughter actually tried chicken yesterday. We fed her little bits of chicken. Have you guys ever had Freddy's? Who's had Freddy's? Someone out there's had to have had Freddy's. I'll tell you something cool. If anyone out there's had Freddy's, I'll tell you something cool. As we're waiting for more of this stuff to develop. IWM down now 2.35%. Crazy. NVIDIA down 2.1. AMD down 4.8. Meta, originally a good move. We'll see how this is affected. That's a great move. I'll check it out, Loxley. Tesla's starting to confirm some divergence here. We got to see That 2 hour can rotate down. VIX starting to turn. Let's go take a look at that real quick. Starting to turn. We'll see. That 2 hours got about 18 minutes left in it. 1992. I'm an August birthday, so it's kind of a weird place, but yeah, I'm 1992. Freddy's. We had a Freddy's yesterday. It's so good. I freaking love Freddy's. PCC still low. I graduated in 1991. Hey, I wasn't even born yet. I was in my mommy's tummy, and there was a tornado in 1992. So there's a picture or a video of my mom. She's pregnant with me watching a tornado in like a nearby outer, like just one of those suburb cities. Pretty cool. There was a Nortado. Old man. Like, damn, you're old, Dale. That's messed up. You can't be letting this guy call you old like that. All right, so the one I did take calls in for today that I got rid of was Microsoft. That would have done pretty well. But you see, I'm not bummed out. I'm like, I missed out, but I've had great trades this week. I can't complain. Oh gosh, I'm just seeing if at any point we're gonna see AMC start to turn down. Because as it crossed that 200, I feel like it's going to get like more and more likely or something that we start to see them fight the stock. If the fight's going to continue, they will not want it to break through here. So my SPY calls at a loss, so it will probably bounce now. We'll see, Kyle. Well, we got to see it down towards these levels of 546. And we got to see if the Qs are hitting theirs or if the SPY's hitting theirs first. I think they'll behave pretty naturally here. AMD, holy moly. Everyone here is like, damn, I wish I had puts on AMD right now. Or I wish I got them yesterday. As far as Clove goes, be just cautious with this. That's a rejection divergence. Watch if that 2 hours curling over. It is, and you have divergence there as well. Clove might not be in a good spot here. I'm just letting you know. Before the earnings, it might drop down as of right now. Now, if you're looking for those smaller plays, right, Scott? You can maybe find those smaller plays to bounce back up. But I'm just saying, as of right now, you need that 30 minutes to curl up to confirm that next upward move. But rejection divergence with a 2 hour divergence at the same time. This is where I would really look at that play, right? 191. This is a great setup for some downside, actually. I just want to be honest with you. I'm not hating on your stock. I know you like this one. Not hating on it by any means. Hopefully this thing turns around for you, but I'm just saying what's happening here. Divergence here could lead to the daily rolling over as well. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar, ooh, that dollar is up there, man. Yeah, I just got to call it how I see it, but and plus you watch it very closely, so you might know more about it than I do, but I got to just say what I see in front of me. I respect it. I respect the hustle, Scott, you know what I'm saying? Allison out here just being like, the VIX is turning, guys. The VIX is turning. Might just tank today with dead cat bounce moves, bear trap before Apple or data tomorrow. If you take long, take it in parts like I recommended Wednesday. That's what was said by Marina here. Scott's a big AMD fan. Hopefully not today. My goodness, you could be a fan maybe later if it makes some structure. Let's go take a look at AMD. That thing's really suffering. We'll see if this can turn around. Remember, that's just by the center line. So it's just starting to say, hey, we're going to get ugly on a 30-minute. So if that's going to turn down, hey, we'll look for that to turn back up. VIX hitting that 18 level. We will see if this can drop down Dollar up to 0.3 now. Now that correlation makes sense, right? The market's down, the dollar's down. So we caught up. We caught back up. I think we looked at this a couple of days ago. No, we looked at this a while back, but damn, that is a freaking jump, isn't it? Oh my gosh, did you never even got the 30-minute pullback to like help you out? Oh, I guess you kind of did. You kind of did, this tiny little blip here. I bet if you're looking on a 15, it looks pretty good. Curled down, curled up, curled down, curled back up. Boom, right there. 308, giving you a 25%, pretty much 25% move. Turning what way? Someone just mentioning volatility, looking like, hey, it could turn down. But as of right now, you're just getting a 2-hour to confirm up. We'll see if that's able to confirm in the next few minutes here. You got about 12 minutes left in the bar. So the next bar is going to be really important for volatility. I will be hopping off today at 10:30. Hopefully I can come back live later today. No guarantees for today. I might have to spend my day just making sure to get our travel packs and things like that ready just in case. But if things look a little crazy, I'll probably hop on. They look crazy right now, so I'm glad I'm on right now. Maybe I'll go till 11 today, another hour, a little extra time. LPSN. Haven't we looked at this? Yeah, we have looked at this. So up at these levels, we see the divergence, the rejection here. Well, actually not even a rejection, just a solid little divergence for the play down. Now you're seeing if that's going to, that momentum for the 2 hours is going to lead to the daily turning down. And it looks like that daily is about to cross. Now you are at a point where that daily can reject. So we want to see at any time, do we have divergence in this? Not necessarily, but as you get closer and closer to oversold for the 30-minute, you can start to see some kind of consolidation, some kind of bounce. You want to see if that is going to rotate up, maybe rotate back down, but everything is pointing down here. That is negative. 2 hour. If it wants to load, give me 2 seconds here. That is going negative, and the daily looks like it's about to cross, so not the best look for this one. But we'll see. There's always swing trades to be had. If that 2 hour can just curl up like this, hey, we find that support. Ooh, we curl up, boom. We start to head up if that MACD can curl up. If that MACD curls up, test the highs, go make a new one. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You know, Scott, someone mentioning the point of we could see a corrective move for like maybe a few months. Then we actually head into another bull market as we get some cutting of the rates. I think that would be very interesting. Okay, SPY's starting to head down to the point where we really have to start to pay attention, okay? So now it's heading down. Let's look at the Qs real quick. Qs starting to get there. We'll see. But this is just the first curl over. Remember, this is a 68% zone. So if we get outside of that, 68% chance to balance, 32% to see something crazy. So if we wanted to break down, remember how we would break down. We're going to use this liquidity. So if we can just cut through that, head down to this level, then we bounce back up, that would be the structure I would see to take us lower. Rates will be cut in September. Yeah, he kind of was like, almost like violently rejecting that for a moment there. But he said also that we could cut as soon as August if the data shows that we can. So I actually thought that was an indication he was willing to cut in August, which is kind of an interesting thing. Was that PMI really that bad this morning? 46.8, a very low PMI, which is actually saying inflation should be coming down, but that's causing the yields to come down. We're seeing a breakdown here in the market. So uninversion mainly, it's just as you get more and more uninverted, if you keep getting uninverted, you're gonna go down in the market. It's just, that's how it works. When you start to go towards uninversion, market goes down. If you go more inverted, then the stock market goes up. Starting to head down towards that 546.01. Thoughts on AVGO? Let's go check that out. We were looking at that a little bit last week. Looking at this one, 30-minute cross down. Looks like it's behaving like the market. You see the structure here? You see how we have this? It's almost the same as the market, right? So if this wanted to dip down into this level, that would make total sense, and then see gap support within liquidity. We'll see if that can turn down, turn right back up. All the good news from the Fed. Everyone got calls in there, man, and they're still trying to buy calls. They were still trying to buy calls. Now we're starting to see puts come in. Notice that we start to bounce and see those puts to come in a little bit as we approach a daily expected move. That's exactly kind of like how you know, like the opposite is always what you want to be looking for. But we'll see. It's just crossed over. You can see ugly things here. Apple might have to save the market tomorrow, if it's even able to. Apple could also crash the market tomorrow further, or like begin it. I still think it'll be a bear market, but AVGO might double in the next year. Yeah, I don't think it's dead by any means as of this look. It just looks like a 30-minute pullback to me. Now, as volatility scales up towards the last 7 minutes here, you are noticing that cross up on that MACD, so we could be in for something a little bit more dramatic. We'll find out. Okay, dollar not really able to, still kind of looking like consolidating with these. We'll see if that's able to turn back up. Still keep going green here. Could Nvidia go down to 100 today? I think that's most likely a little bit unlikely, but I don't want to take it off the table. Let me see. Nvidia could double bottom actually around 103. Do something like that. That would be the more dramatic thing to do. And then if you're going to see positivity, if you start to lose that, you could see something crazy happen, especially if Apple earnings are bad too. As of right now, we're coming into that liquidity. We'll see if that can turn back around. Apple, we'll pay attention to you going back down into this liquidity. Maybe it needs to grab some before it heads higher, or which we might skip this because of earnings. We might skip the right shoulder consolidation there. SPY still going. So yeah, it's not impossible, NZ. It's more that 103 level I'm looking for Nvidia. We're starting to head to that daily expected move. We'll see what happens. I need to compare these dailies. These daily expected moves looked a little funky to me today, but I need to compare these maybe with someone else. Nvidia 98.95 this week, a little bit low probably this week unless we see something really bad happen in the market, which IWM is seeing something really bad happen in the market. 2-hour divergence confirming there. Dollar still trying to make that next move higher. Volatility screaming. Now, just note that if volatility is up by more than 10% today, hey, that means you have an 85% chance for a bounce in the SPY, some kind of green day in the next 2 trading sessions. I didn't make dailies for IWM, actually. I'm guaranteeing you right now, though, if IWM is doing that, it is outside of a daily expected move. Because you started here. So your daily expected move, usually you only see, IWM can be a little bigger, but usually it's like 1.5% to 2%. So you're kind of just cutting through all of it. Daily expected move probably not helping. You're probably outside of it already. AMC starting to roll. We'll see if that can confirm a downward move soon. GME starting to make that divergence. Where's that weekly expected move? 21.74. A little bit lower. Let's just give you guys that for today. Let's put it on our chart, huh? Whoa, weird. My husky German Shepherd, Alan, he's chewing on one of the toys. He doesn't do that. Today's a weird day. He's chewing on one of Bruce's toys. He thinks Bruce is disgusting. This is very strange. I literally haven't seen him chew on this toy once, ever. It's a weird day. That's all I'm getting at here. It's a weird day. AMD heading down. We'll see if that's able to hold up, turn back around. Remember, we did get out of this. Now we're coming back down into it. Yes, it's more dramatic, but look for if that 30-minute curls up, because that would be a positive move if that can curl up soon. Microsoft, Google, this might be just a 2-hour by the center line type of deal. No real reversal in there. SMCI still struggling, even with the 2-hour divergence, still struggling. And NVIDIA still collapsing. Let's look at the SPY again, see if we're going towards or at least at that daily expected move. Looks like we're right at it. This is where we can catch some bouncing. We touched in the liquidity now. We are within the liquidity zone. So if we want to head higher, this is where you want to be to collect those buyers to turn around. So we'll see if that's able to turn around. Dollar still remaining at 0.3. But we really haven't seen the dollar drop off while the market's dropping, so don't think that this is like... It's not really showing the rigged behavior for the downside like it was over here. Over here, we had the dollar dramatically going down while the market was going down, the Qs and the SPY. And that told us, hey, there could be a rigged move up. We caught that move. Awesome. Now, we're more so seeing up here, we had the dollar going up while the market was going up. And then that led to this drop, and we're not necessarily seeing the dollar drop at the same time like we did over here. So keep that in mind. This seems like a real move so far. I want to tell you guys something really funny. So I was letting the dogs out last night. I was walking the dogs for a little bit. And I think I was with Bruce, but he was chilling, and he just like sat. Which he doesn't do that very often, but he just like was in the grass, and you know, usually he does his business and we go walk a little bit and then we come inside. And he just sat there. And then he started to look up, and so I looked up. And we have a car dealership kind of close by, and all I saw was you know, like the movie It, I saw a red balloon, and you could see the moon, and the moon was like a full moon. And I saw a red balloon start out low and go up and up and up towards the moon, and then go behind some trees out of my vision. Kind of crazy, right? I don't know what it means, but I just was like, that means something. No. All right, now we're down towards that daily expected move for the SPY, or sorry, this is the Qs. For the Qs, the SPY right at it. Is it possible to see any bounce today? Yes, it's always possible to see a bounce. This is most likely where you will start to see those things happen, if it is going to happen. But in this area, you only have 2 crossing overs of this MACD right now. So this is dramatic. So don't think that this has to just whip back around. It can, but usually if it's going to do some kind of V shape here, you're going to see the dollar tell you that and see this going down dramatically while the market goes down. We're not seeing that. We are not seeing that. Now, we're not seeing it grow either, right? We're not seeing it grow either. But for the most part, this makes sense, right? The dollar went up overnight. That's the rigged selling coming in. We go a little higher, the dollar goes a little higher, and then we start to drop off a little bit while the market drops, but then bounces back up. Balloon? Chinese? Why did that instantly make me want Chinese food? Okay, dollar now up 0.32. Volatility still going higher. That hedge position looking pretty good. The Dow, we can look at the Dow as well. Now, I don't have dailies or anything like that. I actually need to make weeklies for the Dow from now on. I got to remind myself of that too. Got to write another note or something. $99 red balloons. No. Oh, not being able to react. Although I'll be holding a video for a long time, still scares me because I'm currently in the military. Well, thank you for your service, and don't always have access to my phone. That's unfortunate, but what branch are you in, if you don't mind me asking? So normally when dollar goes down, stocks go up, but if they go in the same direction, it's potentially rigged. It's not really like, I call it rigged, but the reason I call it rigged, Raphael, is because it means insiders or something is not right in front of us. It means someone is buying while there is selling, is when the dollar is moving down down like this and the market's moving down at the same time, that means, well, if stocks are moving down, the correct correlation is the dollar should be going up. So if they're both moving down, that means some big player is causing that dollar to go down while the market goes down, telling me there is someone big actually buying. In Korea? So, like, are you going to go on Singles Inferno or what? So yeah, that's overall what you need to understand. And then the opposite is true as well. If you see the stock market going up and the dollar going up, that means someone is going into cash. How do I feel about Apple today? Well, I have to feel bad about a lot of things today, guys. Now, we are touching that daily expected move, seeing a tiny little wick there. We'll pay attention to it. But for Apple, I believe that if we're going to head higher or lower, you're going to use this liquidity in some way. So that means if we see a big reaction down, we might see a reaction back up to grab that liquidity and head down again. But if we're going to see that reaction back up, well, this would be where you want to get to, right in this area. And we're starting to touch it right now, and then see if that can turn back around. Well, Microsoft, that initial reaction to the earnings would kind of lead you to believe, hey, Apple might have a little bit better things if the earnings are good. Still a 50-50 flip. I don't really want to say what I think about earnings because I truly believe it's a fit. I have no idea how the market's going to react to this. Like I said, they could say 20 good or 10 good things and say one bad thing, and then the stock goes down. They could produce great numbers, say 10 good things, and then they say one bad thing about future projections, and it goes down. I did not see that coming either, for real, Robert. Like, I'm just telling you right now, I did not in any way see this coming, but we're heading towards a weekly expected move today. So a little bit scary there. AMC now starting to go zero, right? Really break even here. So we'll see if that's able to see any negativity. Now going negative, down 0.09%. GME going towards that weekly expected move. I know that these are, I should make these purple just so you know, like these are weeklies for the most part. We'll make them nice and bright purple. I just know a lot of people pay attention to this, so I want to make sure you know what we're talking about here. Yeah, some people mentioning the European, the European markets, and I think they said like down 2% already in the first hour. Marina, you just do your thing. What hedge was I talking about? Well, just in case we see something awful, as volatility did turn up on a 30-minute, giving us that higher low, I just said, hey, I'm going to buy some UVXY. So that is doing very well for me right now. So the way that I'm doing this is if we're going to see something really bad over the next, like, say, week or so, I'm just going to take a call for about 2 to 3 weeks out for UVXY, see if I see some bad price action for a few days, and then take my money and run. You don't like GME, and apparently the short sellers don't like the fact that it was going up either. So I get it. This is not a good look for GME at this point, but you are making your first little sign here that you could have a reversal signal. And we're heading towards that weekly move. So we'll pay attention to this. Right? The time to pay attention to these is when everyone hates it, when everyone doesn't believe in it. That's when it's like, okay, something big could happen. 30-minute divergence, if that does play out, we can see something good. But as of right now, we want to make sure those things are confirming. Really, Steve? Let me look at that too. Let me pull up some possible news going on. No, nothing there. Let me go check. See what's trending. And I know I just didn't see anything on the actual like some news sources, so I more so just was like maybe someone's talking about something on Twitter. Not really anything talking about on Twitter, just the fact that there was a man fighting a woman in the Olympics, and I think she quit. The girl from Italy just like stopped in round one after taking one punch. She was like, "Nope." That's why she was like, "No, thank you." Is there anything later today? We get the mortgage rate. We have bill auctions in a little bit. I'll paste a link. Yeah, I might not be able to see the link, Steve. Not necessarily that. I'm looking for. I just take this early, so I use volatility when I do my hedges. I like to use UVXY, and if I take a hedge, I'm looking for that signal on volatility. Yeah, sorry, Steve. It just doesn't it won't let me even see a link. People post links on here, and I just don't see it. It doesn't pop up in my chat. But yeah, so I just see this signal. It could break through. That could curl up a 2-hour. That has happened at this point, so I'm paying attention to it. Now we're coming into an area where we could see some kind of bounce. We're paying attention to that right now, the 30-minute down by the center line. So this did just cross recently. So we could head a little bit deeper. Then we have to see if Apple's able to probably save the market. Yeah, so volatility could pull back here, but it doesn't have to pull back on like 30-minute. It would make sense maybe to retest that level. But for the time being, I'm looking for any reversal signal I see here. So do I even see a 5-minute reversal signal? No. I see a 5-minute that's relatively negative. So if we do this and then do that, that is where I'll really start to pay attention on the 5-minute, because that means that 30-minute can start to curl back up. So by end of day, if something like that sets up, that's what I'll be looking for if we're going to see a move up. But I'm not necessarily seeing obvious signals, right? I'm not seeing the dollar drop off. So I just want you to be aware, like there's no real rigged behavior happening here as of right now. And so this might just be, hey, 30-minute curls up, awesome. 5-minute divergence can help you like see if that's going to curl up. And then you have to be aware that Apple earnings is going to have a huge weight. Well, and that's the thing to think about. It's like Nancy Pelosi is still holding hers, right? Oh, see this, see this. Right as we hit that daily expected move, what happens in PCC? Boom. We start to get the puts. But is that enough for them to rip the market down? No, normally you need to get to 0.95 or 1 on that PCC, and you'll probably need to see this dollar start to drop off. So if we see a pop from the SPY and another drop, the double dip, the double dip is where most people go, okay, the market's going to crash down. Which it could, right? We're seeing the volatility signals. That's why I still have that there just in case. But for now, we would just say, okay, if we see some kind of divergence down there, it can turn up the 30-minute. If we see the PCC high at that level, then we also see the dollar start to drop off. That could mean insider buying, but we're not seeing that insider buying yet. No, I do not mind looking, Trevor. Let's go look at that real quick. Qualcomm. All right, Qualcomm here. Dropped off pretty dramatically, and you're going to go, oh no, this is absolutely terrible. But if that curls up, you got a double bottom and a solid divergence. Now, as of right now, that has not happened. So that means positivity is not the most likely option here. What is the most likely option here? Everyone that's taken the course, or any course, really both courses, you should be able to know this because we talk about the MACD in both of them. We go more in depth in the course that is 90% off $100 right now, the technical analysis course down there. This overall means what on your MACD? Negativity, okay? So this can just keep falling through the floor, all right? So just pay attention to that. The 2-hour here is curled up. We could see that dip back down and see something horrible. But I am aware that if the 30-minute crosses up, this is a double bottom. That is the dying out of momentum, and we could see some positivity over time. That's what I would say, Trevor. It's pretty cool because we looked at this a very, very long time ago, way up towards the highs. And people asking me, like, where could we head to with the signals that were going on up here? And I marked off 175.50. So now we're using that as some resistance, actually gapping below that, so it will become resistance again. Sorry, I thought Bruce was growling. He's snoring. I hope that was helpful. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take a look at it for you, X. You had a good question, so we'll definitely look at this for you. For the time being, little bit of a wonky move here. Just going to say that because you're kind of seeing divergence, right? We kind of have a flat one. We kind of have a flat one, so you can see a bounce if this curls up, but you're pretty much at the same point as over here. So look if that starts to drop down. But you would say if this can base out here, get above, I would say 29 cent, 29.296, 0.296. If we take back this level, that would be a big deal. Now we want to pay attention to the daily. That has crossed over. So just a note, this is very negative thing. RSI below the center line. Price action below all the moving averages. So this is a risky one. If you want this to start building back, the first thing that needs to happen in order to see any kind of upward momentum is that 2 hours got to see a move up. Dow's falling even more. Dollar just increased even more. 0.35 now. It was sitting at 0.3, 0.32. Now it's at 0.35. Dow's falling even more. VVIX is going absolutely insane. The volatility of the volatility going insane. The Dow is confirming on this 2 hour bar in about 7 minutes a downward move. You guys, this is I'm just saying the Dow is what's freaking me the frick out. Freaking me the frick out. It's really like not pretty. It's really not pretty. 0.36 on the dollar now. So did that 4 hour cross up? I know if the 4 hour might cross up here. We might be due for something ugly here. If Apple doesn't save the market tomorrow, this is not looking pretty. That 4 hour can cross up for volatility. I don't pay attention to 4 hour a lot, but it's good to just be like, oh, the 2 hour confirmed, a bigger time frame confirmed, a bigger time frame confirmed. So Dow not liking what's going on today. As that PCC is going up a little bit, let's see if it bounces at that daily expected move for the SPY, right? Let's see if some kind of little 5-minute bounce is there for the SPY. Because if we consolidate at this level, we just move sideways, we can break through that by end of day. Thanks, man, you to bet. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for your questions. You've had a couple of good questions today. I appreciate you asking. What do I think about today's earnings after hours? I think today's earnings after hours is what can save the markets then. Just so we're on the same page. It's like, this is not a good look. This isn't even bad compared to what's going on with the Dow. The Dow is down more than the SPY. That is some bad behavior there. So if you want this market to snap back, you're probably going to need some good earnings. Yeah, I need to do some research on that a little bit because I know it says Clove Healthcare every single time that I look at it. It's just scary stuff, and I don't want to get overly scared or anything, but the Dow is doing something really dramatic while the market's just seeing like, oh, well, okay, a 0.7 pullback. So it's kind of freaky. I mean, the Q is a little bit more dramatic, but just down to the daily expected move. So we have a lot of these earnings tomorrow are going to mean a lot. Thank you for telling me that, Amog, by the way. Thanks for bringing up the Dow for a second. Could we do SoFi? Yeah, we can look at SoFi in a minute. Bitcoin, though, I wanted to see that first. Let me go look at Bitcoin first. Wow, okay. So 2 hour trying to cross down here. Not even able to go up. This is breaking through a key level. So you do have some to hold you up here, but as you break down, if we don't wick out here and go to the upside, well, then we might not see that right shoulder form. This could just be done. The daily is curling over, so that is getting pretty dramatic. Look for the 200. That is our next big source of liquidity right in here. You see how this kind of lines up across. If we just take a line and mark anywhere in here, boop, you're going to see, oh, okay, we got some reactions from that level. So that's what I'd kind of be paying attention to. Something like, Bruce, stop whining. Yeah, something like this level here. Let me turn that to white so you're not confused. 61.26K. If we can pull down to there and then see a reaction up, that would be the best case. If you're going to, remember, this is what we talked about. This is what you want. If this is going to go bullish again, you need this to turn back around. Those signals really told us, hey, this could turn down. Now we're overall pulling back. See if that can confirm another move higher. If it keeps dropping, we could go make a divergence maybe and then see what happens. But we're very positive. So to make a divergence with that, pretty unlikely. Bruce, quit mooing. Yeah, SQQQ is a good one. You don't want, if you're not going to do options or something like that, I really like SQQQ and things like that. For the time being, though, I'd really pay attention to what's going on today. See if that 30-minute is able to curl back up. If you're going to, take anything with SQQQ, a lot of the time, if I'm worried something bad's going to happen, and I think, the better time for SQQQ is at these levels when we were calling out the higher low. When we really called that out to a T, we said the SPY is going to go make the divergence and the Qs are going to make a higher low. They did right by the monthly expected move, which we're going to update these for you. Tomorrow I'm going to have that, so I'll put those out on Patreon later today. I think we bounced good after a bloodbath. Well, in order to see that, we're going to need to get some hints from the dollar. We got to see some insider buying. We got to see volatility turn back down. As of right now, we have the 2-hour just now curling up, really. So we could consolidate for a while and then see if we make another move higher for volatility. That will kind of say more downside is there. Dow not wicking out by any means and curling down on a 2-hour, confirming 2-hour downside, saying, hey, this daily right here is going to pull back in some way. And that's just overall right now, I just want to treat it as a pullback. I don't want to get too overexcited for downside or something. But remember what I was mentioning with the dollar, how this would have been really bad, because this would be a sign that we're going to see some crazy price action, probably another blow off top of the blow off top, right? So I don't want that to happen. If anything, I just said, hey, there could be a divergence there, right? But if they wanted to, they could just reject it. They need to turn it back around. They don't want it to cross at this moment. If we're going to see something bad, that is, by they, I'm just saying, if we're going to see something bad, that's not going to cross over. That's going to get a reaction today. So that's why I took my calls out of the market too. Seeing it up 0.35. Bruce. Sorry if you guys hear Bruce mooing. 0.92 PCC. We'll see that update in a couple. Oh, 0.91. Are they? Oh, okay. IWM finally seeing the tiniest of wicks. Overall, bullish or bearish in the semiconductor? I do really like what someone said this morning. We see a corrective move in the fall, and then that leads into positivity with the uninversion. But the way that things are shaped up right now, at least talking to my buddy last night, I think you have a very high potential for a black swan moment before the election again. And truly, Trump, the assassination attempt on Trump is a black swan moment, and I think you're going to see maybe another one like that. Not necessarily saying assassination attempt, just some kind of black swan in the next few months. I really could see that happening. But I'm still just playing the signals in front of me. Overall, I don't want to read into it too much. Here's what I would say about semiconductors, right? Let's just look at SMH or something like that. Okay, if this is able to curl up on, say, a weekly scale again, you're going to see some positivity for a few weeks. If this is able to curl up on the daily scale again, you're going to see positivity, and that could lead us into a positive move, possibly all the way into October, but it also could go all the way into January. So I guess overall, so black swan would more so mean maybe like a bank thing happening, maybe something happening that's very random that causes martial law. Maybe there is something that happens to cause civil war. Maybe there's something that causes war, World War III at this point, since we're on the very edge of that. Anything like those scenarios, something that causes unemployment to go up is really what I'm looking for. What state are you from? I'm from the Midwest. I'm in Kansas. If the government wants to keep going into more debt, they're going to have to do what they do every single time in history when they want to increase the debt, aka have a huge war. That's what they do every time. That's why I do not like neoconservatives. I don't. That's why I did not like, who was the girl that was running against, Republican running like against Trump or whatever, Nikki Haley. That's why I didn't like her. I think she's a warmonger. I don't like it. I do not want people to die. I don't see how that is. You know, people can maybe get frustrated with me for saying that. I do not want people to die. That is it. And I'm sorry, but I put this together right when Nikki Haley announced she was going to try to run. I put it together right away. She is going to want war because her husband creates war supplies. He creates war equipment. He creates things that people use during war. I do not want that. Do you think the increase in immigrants has anything to do with higher unemployment rates? No, if anything, the increase in, well, I would say this, in immigrants actually come over. If you come over here legally, immigrants are fantastic. Like some of my best friends are immigrants, and they are fantastic. They work hard, they have great family, like they are fantastic people. And I'm not talking badly really even about anything as far as it goes with illegal immigrants. I'm just saying illegal immigrants can cause actually jobs to go towards them, especially when you have someone like the administration that's giving a lot of things to illegal immigrants. I don't like that side of things, but I do think immigrants are a great thing for America. I really do. Legal immigrants are a great thing for America. But we need to start producing our own real stuff. We need to start producing our own oil. We need to start producing our own products. We cannot keep buying things from other countries forever. And I think that immigrants can really help with that. They're very intelligent. Like they come over, they work really hard. That's all I could say. Like, but do I think it's adding to the unemployment? I mean, I don't think we're counting illegal immigrants in the unemployment. I kind of wish we were like Japan. So Japan, me and my wife have talked about this before. And this is very huge. This is very cool. How if you go to Japan and you want to like migrate over there, you want to live there, you have to have something that contributes to society in a job. And I thought that was very, very cool. Oh yeah, let's see what's happening. Sorry. I thought that was very cool, and I thought that would be a very cool thing for even America to implement. I think any country should implement that. Yeah, you can move here if you have something good to contribute to our society. And I was like, or to our, I guess not society. I don't know how I'm saying it, but if you can contribute your skills to our even economy, I guess. My best friends are in Japan. My two best friends, they got married. He's a Air Force pilot, and she's a physical trainer, and they are fantastic. She's actually here right now. Maybe I could have her say hi on one of these streams. Would you guys like to say hi to my friend from Japan one day? She's here right now. Well, not here, but like she's in the city. She's cool. Me and her, man. Will she talk about the stock market? No, but I think that'd be hilarious if we have her talk about the stock market. Whenever I think I showed her what I do one time, and she was just like, oh, it's kind of pretty. That's all she said. So no, she does not know about the stock market. They don't need to either. Once you're high up, like my buddy, they give you options for stocks that just give you like 10, 12% returns every year, and it's guaranteed. It's like crazy. I want to move there myself. I like Japan. I like the culture. We love the culture of Japanese. It's so fun. We go to the Asian markets and stuff. Squid Games 2? When does Squid Games 2 come out? I don't know if it would. All that red. Ooh, red. How pretty. And then everyone's like losing their minds in the chat. I'm sorry, but that would be funny. I'm sorry. I know it's your guys' trades, but that would be hilarious if you're like losing. I'm sorry to say it this way, but it's just funny, so I'm going to say it. It'd be funny to see like maybe me. What I'm like, it's red, and I'm like, yeah, I have calls. She's like, ooh, it's really red. That's so pretty. And I'm just like losing thousands of dollars behind me. Oh, God. Oh, wow. Volatility is still turning up. So just wondering about rotations. Well, if anything, you're seeing TLT see that pop, starting to drop. If anything, we can say rotating into some cash possibly right now. But as far as it goes, as of right now, you can look for what sectors are up and stuff like that. We can go check that. Check a heat map or something. Communications services doing okay. Healthcare. Looks like healthcare, some real estate, utilities. So healthcare, real estate, and utilities are the only three that I'm really seeing green on as of right now. Yeah, healthcare, drug manufacturing. Why in the SPY is it overbought? Defensive, blah. Allison's like, ew. Ew, utilities. Which probably means XLU doing pretty good. Well, bam. So this might just be an overall, because usually in the crash scenario, you will see utilities drop as well, so we'll find out. Tesla's still looking like a flag here almost. We're just not seeing that dollar drop off though. We're seeing the PCC remain higher, but we're not seeing that dollar drop off. We need to see this dollar drop off and the market stay dropping at the same time. Scary market today, Fartis. Definitely a scary one. Okay, I gotta go and like I just. Yeah, I gotta go in like 5 minutes. Sorry, I was trying to listen in. I'm supposed to be upstairs right now. We're supposed to be going somewhere right now. We have a lot of shit to get to. Win some, you lose some. That's true. GME looking depressing. Once it looks depressing, doesn't it? Whenever it looks good, it never works out. Ooh, here we go. GME. 30-minute divergence. But AMC turning down. So are they going to fight AMC and GME is going to catch a bounce? We'll find out. Find out soon. Find out tomorrow live. I don't want to have an order ready. Let me look at the daily scale here. I just want to see. Yeah, it's hitting the bottom of the Bollinger as well. It's starting to spread out. That could spread out to the downside, though. Wow. 2 hour. Very deep into negative territory here. Yeah, this is setting up real strange though. So 30-minute, you do have the divergence point down here by the center line. AMC though starting to cross down while that's down. Do you think the small cap narrative continues or converts? Well, technically, the 10-year coming down should be good for things like IWM. So very interesting there. But so technically, it should be going a little bit better than what it is doing right now. So I wonder why that 10-year is dropping. Who unplugged something? Alan Bear. Hi, buddy. Bruce's tail keeps hitting it. A bit confusing. Yeah, I get that it's confusing. Like, it's not a good look by any means. Is this just going to be GME. I mean, unless this is just horrible things from the market. But technically, if you were to see a crash, they're going to see problems. I don't know if they'll be able to make money to suppress GME much more. I don't know. Might take a chance with it. How high did this go last time? 28.5. Maybe I should be patient. Ooh. NVIDIA looks like it's just starting. Yeah, we might have to come back live later today. I'll let you, I mean, don't think it's for sure, but keep those notifications on because I might come back on later today. Volatility is above, is up 10% now. 4 hour trying to curl up, so we could be seeing something a little dramatic. No, I don't do that. I'm not trying to do that. I just really want to pay attention to this because we have that move up for you guys. You have a 30-minute divergence. I might want to see if that's able to confirm fully first. I don't really want to YOLO into anything anymore. I already have my YOLO play on AMC, which is not the biggest YOLO in the world. Sorry, I'm being a little quiet for a sec. I'm just trying to think. The RSI said overbought? Like earlier? Oh my gosh, guys. Isn't hourly curling over now? Oh god. Dollar, are you going up more? Still sitting there. 4 hour might cross up. Are we seeing puts really come in? Not a ton of puts though. Really would expect that to be at like 1 by now. Oh, you're on the 3-minute. AMD as well. 2 hour divergence maybe. 30-minute maybe. Oh gosh. Are we gonna see something from Roaring Kitty like tomorrow? I don't understand what's going on too much there. Good things come to those who wait. Wasn't looking for a good entrance point. I wanted to know I wasn't just chasing. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Is Microsoft gonna break through this? I think you would expect if something horrible is happening for Meta to more give that whole thing up. We're at a point where we're gonna, you know, potentially see bounces. These are the levels, right? We're in the liquidity area. But we're not seeing reversal anywhere. The dollar is still higher. Potential bounce for the SPY. You've already broken through the support level here. We'll see what's going on. 5-minute, not able to curl up yet. Now you could see a 5-minute bounce, but you are below that daily expected move. We're not necessarily see the dollar drop off at the same time. So this does make sense. But we could see that 5-minute come up, and then you want to see if I can create that lower high. Or higher low, sorry, god dang it. That higher low. But the dollar not dropping off to show you any of that. This just makes sense at this point. So if it's just following the dollar to a T, if the dollar starts to drop, we could see a pop in the market. But that 4 hours just starting to curl up. You got 3.5 hours left in it. 2 hours already curled up. Daily's rejecting. VVIX starting to curl up. The volatility of the volatility is starting to curl up. But we're just not necessarily seeing it from the dollar. Thing is, I think this is like major potential to keep going down, actually. This is looking a lot like we didn't get there. We didn't fully get there to make the structure for the SPY. We definitely didn't get there for the Q, so maybe we just have more to do here. Maybe we just have a little bit more to do. That divergence was so good for the pop. Now we're dropping again. Look for the double. You know, this could just base out at any time. This could be a fake out. I just kind of want to like benefit from the overall move. I'm just trying to figure out, because that is a bad signal. That's a really bad signal. And the daily just crossed, so we'd have to assume as that daily crosses that that will continue. Because this one didn't work out, now you have a lower high. Over here, this one didn't work out, then you cross, that was bad. Cross, that at least consolidated, but that doesn't look consolidative at all. I think if you just read into the Dow right now, the Dow, I'm just going to say what the Dow is saying based on the indicators here. The Dow is saying we go lower. I almost sold my volatility, but the Dow is saying we're going lower. Maybe we need to make that firm divergence down at these lows. But I'm going to keep an eye on the dollar here. It's not really popping off more. Notice that. It's not popping off more. $30-minute pretty overbought here. Could this be cup and handle for volatility? I know it's a reading, not really price action. This wouldn't be any kind of cupping to the downside here. Just in case, let's do this. Here's what I'm gonna do. I know it. I think I know what I'm doing. Dollar's starting to drop now. Just a little bit. But I haven't made any decisions yet. I'm just thinking. So as of right now, we're not necessarily seeing any kind of rigged, I would say, behavior. We're more just seeing the market follow the dollar's doing what the market's doing, okay. But for now, we would just look for if things start to roll over and go negative for the dollar, if things start to roll up and go positive for the SPY. Because this is where we needed to get to. We needed to get to this level. You now have a 68% chance for a bounce. If that hourly crosses over, though, we could see things get a little bit more dramatic. And then we have earnings after hours. Oh, that's looking a lot like a lower high. But I don't want to necessarily say lower high because we haven't even crossed up on this MACD. The Dow did, right? Giving us the lower high. The SPY didn't. So is that just going to be really, really bad for the SPY? Yeah, I'm not going to make any other decisions than that. I think I just hold on to stuff and watch how it performs throughout the day. Sectors that are the most wrecked have to be semiconductors, right? Yeah, semiconductors, AVGO down at 4.2, AMD down 5, NVIDIA down 3%. So that's got to be semiconductors. 3.65%. Okay. Now we're starting to see that dollar come down just a tiny bit. But I don't want to read into that too much. It's just not enough. Let's see if anything's setting up for us. Let's do that real quick, and then I have to hop off. Let's look at 30 minutes across these. Apple pullback area going into the liquidity, starting to see some kind of bounce. So we'll pay attention to that. Righty. We'll just see what's going on with that throughout the day. I do have to hop off like right now, so I'm going a little bit longer. But Tesla going down into an area where we could see the bounce. We'll just see if these 30 minutes turn around. Amazon, this one's just starting. NVIDIA, this one's just kind of starting, but it is within that liquidity here where it can turn back around. So just see if these things start to turn up on 30-minute charts. Pay attention if the dollar starts to come down more dramatically, because that's not the biggest sign there. Here we could be carving out a slightly higher low for that gap on AMD. See if that's able to turn around. You still have a good shot to go positive there. Meta, that thing is starting to see a little bit of green now that with the profit taking on some people. We'll see what goes on with that. If we're seeing something really crazy, you expect Meta to kind of give all this up. Microsoft starting to wick out, trying to make that move higher as well. So we'll pay attention if this is able to go positive at this point. Google not looking the best for real, like not looking the best there. So I don't want to talk too much about Google. It just looks like there could be some turning down. Maybe a 2-hour scale could turn down from here. Really could go either way on us. Now AMC 30-minute, you have divergence all across this. So watch out for that 2-hour to curl down. GME, though, you do have a divergence down by the lows, so that is something to really pay attention to. Okay, so just pay attention to that. SMCI, that just crossed, so a lot of this is it broke out, it touched our zone, and now it's heading down. So unless we start to see that dollar drop dramatically, I'm not really seeing rigged moves. But this is where I do have to hop off for the day. I know it's a crazy day and I wish I could stay on all day, but I can't. I have a lot of stuff to get to. So I real quickly just wanted to thank you guys for joining me today. I really did. I wanted to, I had some fun. I mean, this is a fun market for the most part. It's very rip around, but it is fun. So for the most part, we just want to see, is that dollar going to go up? Is it going to go down? Are we going to get a hint from it? Is the SPY going to do a 68% thing? Is it going to see this rip back up into positive territory? We'll have to find out. And thank you so much. I can't read all that name, but thank you so much for subscribing, Mr. Chill. So we'll just have to see. The Q's trying to wick out maybe as well. You do have a 68% chance to end the day up in this area, so I'd pay attention to that. But as this did just cross, it's just a weird look to it. I would at least look for maybe a 5 minute to turn up, and then maybe it's going to turn right back down. We actually see something a little uglier here, or we create that 5 minute divergence by end of day, and then we see that start to turn up over time for the Qs. I'd really be paying attention to that. But overall, I do have to go, and I'm sorry to just kind of take off. I tried to stay on a little bit longer with you guys, but thank you guys for joining. Make sure those notifications are on. Not guaranteed to go live again later today, but I will be putting out a YouTube video tonight. So just pay attention, make sure those are those notifications are on, and note that we can use these daily expected moves as resistance now. So looking at the PCC, that thing is starting to grow. We'll see what happens with that. Dollar starting to barely come off here. Pay attention to that throughout the day. Thank you guys for joining today. I have to hop off right away, so I just wanted to make sure to say good luck with your trades, guys. Good luck with your trades. Manage your risk, and you will be just fine, all right? Have a great one. Peace.